Hey everyone, today is Thursday, the 25th of July. Some of you may know it's National Hire a Veteran Day. We're just here today to have a quick chat. We have Lee here with us. Lee, do you want to just tell us a bit about yourself?
So I'm a loan officer for Veterans Lending Group as well as a VA Home Loan Boot Camp instructor. I served 7 years in the Navy and have been out since summer of 2017.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you for that. So Lee, just so we can have a quick chat and tell a bit about your story. As a veteran, what was your experience in finding employment after serving?
So that was a really weird coincidence for me. So I would say about 4 or 5 months before I was getting out, I was looking for a job, just getting prepared and doing a bunch of hiring conferences and job fairs and things like that. So, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to continue doing what I did in the Navy, which was I was a nuclear propulsion plant operator. And I was just not interested in continuing that field, but I knew I had that to fall back on. But that's not something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I knew I wanted to be in real estate, but I didn't want to be a real estate agent. And then somehow, magically, serendipitously, the option to become what's called a loan officer fell into my lap, and I took with it and just ran with it. And I was very, very lucky that, I got my license before I separated from the military, like 2 weeks. And then I was able to start with a team, a lending team. And then about 2 or 3 days later, they were able to basically 2 or 3 days later after I separated from the military, basically that following Monday, I started full time. So I was very lucky in the fact that I wasn't struggling to find a job.
Yeah, that was really good timing.
It was right before July 4th. It was just, it was pretty intense.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, thanks for that. What opportunities do you think that you've had then, apart from obviously how quickly that transition was being able to be made from you leaving and then jumping into a new position? What else has made your transition easier going from military to civilian life?
I'm not gonna lie. That first year was pretty rough for me personally, just because I was going through a lot. I was going through, finishing my bachelor's degree, and then I was trying to get transitioned into not only the civilian life, but the new lifestyle that I was living as a loan officer, because it's a complete 180 shift on every single axis of my life. So I came from an engineering background, and now it goes into this financial salesman, trying to be nice to people background. So that transition was relatively rough. And it could have been a lot easier if I'd just done something that I knew how to do. But I didn't want to do that. So I would say that first 8 to 9 months was rough. But looking back, I think something that would have been a lot easier to do, given the circumstances, is probably been around more people that were going through a similar transition, or been with people who understood the transition. I was with a team that didn't know what I was going through, or didn't know how to help me at all. And I didn't know I needed help. So you don't really know until you get it. And then after a year of them, I realized it was not a fit, right? So my real transition really didn't happen until after I joined Veterans Lending Group. And that's when I was able to be around people who were supportive, who understood not only what I was going through, but they actually took the time to, listen and, care. And that's the most important part. They were able to give their time and energy and really sit down and understand, hey, this is going to take time. And they knew that. So that was really nice.
Yeah. Well, that made it all the while a little bit better for you then. Okay. Well, thanks for that one, Lee. And just last but not least, if you have a mission that you would say is kind of your purpose, what is your mission in helping others, whether it's specific to other veterans transitioning, or whether it's just helping people get resources? What do you personally like to ensure that you're doing for others?
So this took me a while to figure out, and it went from this long paragraph to eventually I got it down to a sentence, but it stemmed from me wanting to help, as many people as I could, to get them transitioned back home safely. Because I mean, we all know this statistic is 22 a day. Veterans commit suicide a day. At 30% of 30 to 33% of all veterans in the first 12 months commit suicide. All that good stuff, right? So all those numbers, really play into a factor. And looking back, knowing for me, I could have been a statistic. It's a very easy shift. And I'm very lucky that I was able not to have gone down that path and things like that. So for me personally, my mission statement effectively and my why is just to serve the families that got me home to my family by getting their families at home. And that's just not physically home. I'm talking about emotionally home, mentally home, whatever I can do to make them come back from being in that lifestyle where there's, with benefits or actually getting them into a home, or just maybe they just need a friend, whatever it is. They need someone to talk to about their transition, anything I can do to help. So basically it encompasses a lot more than just physically helping them buy the home, but to actually get them home mentally, because that's the biggest part. Yeah. Even though there's a lot of veterans that come home, a lot of them aren't actually home. So
yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Lee. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be able to relate to your story and really appreciate what you've been able to share with us today. Obviously, you're a massive part of Veterans Lending Group. We appreciate everything that you do here too. Not just obviously offering helping advice and stuff. Obviously, all the education that you do as well. So, obviously, we'll keep it together, keep this strong family going, and obviously do the best that we can to keep making sure that we're out there helping people in any way that we can.
Absolutely, I already agree. So,
well, thanks very much, Lee, and that's for National Hiring a Veterans Day. So, thanks very much for listening, everyone.